So the first item is the update from Greg Dembowski, which really there is not much of an update. He has been holding discussions with some of the streetscape developers, but they're not really much further along than on their own plans than they were 60 days ago. So we don't have any further clarity on how we're going to navigate the Four Corners area and get up to either Riverview or Newberry Village. But hopefully that will pick up now that the COVID issues seem to be dying down. So we shall see. What was interesting was the Streetscape Phase 4 has now been fully funded, and the town approved the project at their February 23rd meeting. So that means that they will start construction probably next year sometime, which is good news. I wanted to just let everybody on the committee know, I had been feeling concerned that, while we're really beholding to Greg and what happens with these developers, there wasn't much we could do. And I wanted to just make sure that Steve Dunn was aware of that. So I had a meeting with him a couple of weeks ago and just, reviewed the whole situation with him, which I'm happy to say he was pretty familiar with. So, he realizes that we can't, as a committee, can't do very much until some of these other aspects of the streetscape and the developers move forward. What he did say was that he didn't have an issue. I have been holding off meeting with any of these guys, just in deference to Greg. But Steve said that he didn't have a problem with me meeting with any of these developers, either with Greg or separately. So I'm going to sort of think about that and weigh it and talk to Greg and see what he has to say. I mean, even if I could just get a better idea as to where they are with their plans, and if they could get a better understanding of our situation and, certainly keep us in mind as they're working through their plans, maybe it might speed things along, and maybe they'll hear something from me that they haven't heard from Greg. So that's something I'm considering. I'm going to talk to Greg about it this week and see what he has to say. So as I've mentioned a couple of times before, once a month, the Connecticut Greenways Council has a Zoom meeting, and I've been invited to those meetings since the beginning of the year. And so they last about an hour, maybe a little bit longer sometimes, and they talk about basically anything that would affect the greenways or the trails in Connecticut. And usually there are a number of people, different people who speak. So I'm just giving you the highlights here. So they talk about projects that are currently under construction or just ready to start construction. So of those, there are about 8 to 10 currently in the state that would fall under one of those two categories. None of them are really very big. They're more shorter in length, but what they've been putting an emphasis on is connecting existing trails, which are much longer trails. And there are, I'd say probably half of these projects fit that category, that they're going to connect, either two ends of an existing trail that were never connected, or they're going to connect two trails. So it will be interesting to see, as that develops and these places get connected, it's going to make some of these trails much longer in length. The DEEP program, which is our most likely source of funding for design study, there is still no discussion of when the next round of funding will actually take place. The committee feels that it will be happening sometime within the next 6 months, but as has happened before, it could pop up, at any time, and, all of a sudden, there's $5 million available from the DEEP program. And everybody has to scramble to get their applications in. So I'm really trying to stay on top of that. Lori Giannotti, who is connected with WestCog, is running the program. So she gives a report at each of these meetings. So I'm staying very close to Lori to just determine when that's going to be, and hopefully we'll be able to participate in it. Lastly, and this was an interesting one, each year the Connecticut Greenways Council presents awards to primarily volunteers who have been instrumental in getting greenways or trails built. They've been doing that usually around the Hartford area or New Haven area. And when I was on the call last Tuesday, I think it was Lori, somebody mentioned, we haven't been to the western part of the state in a long time. And so a couple of people chimed in with, well, there's a good place for that could handle this in Trumbull. I think there was another one in, I'm not sure if it was Southbury or Middlebury, somewhere over there. So I said, well, we've got a band shell and plenty of room at our town hall in Brookfield. And right next to where that location is where the Still River Greenway is. And so I said, it would be nice to have everybody come there because it would bring visibility to the Greenway and the fact that we're trying to expand to New Milford. So I spoke to Mary. I met with Mary on Friday just to get her blessing that she was okay with this. So we've basically thrown our hat into the ring to possibly be a host of the Connecticut Greenway Awards, which would be on Friday, June 4th. So what does that mean? It means that they start about 10 o'clock in the morning. The awards usually run an hour to an hour and a half, and then they usually walk the closest trail or greenway. And they anticipate usually about 50 people. We would have to set up chairs in front of the bandstand, and we would have to provide snacks for the people. But again, Mary didn't see that as a big concern. So the only real concern we have is if the same social distancing guidelines are still in effect, we would not have a place in town hall to handle this if it were to rain. So Mary is investigating what other venues we might be able to use in the event of rain so that we could accommodate this either way. And so I've written back to the council this morning and thrown our hat in the ring and said, we would love to host this. And so we'll see what happens. But I thought it would be a great exposure for us, both in the community and in the state. And some of these people obviously are paid by the state. So it would be good visibility in the government as well. So any thoughts or comments about that?
I think it sounds great. We have the building at the town park there. I don't know if that could be used in case of rain.
That's a great thought, Jean. That's actually probably a little too small for a group of 50 with the social distancing as it is right now. But if the restrictions relax a little bit, we could certainly think about that as an option as well.
Right.
Yeah, and that would certainly be a nice spot, overlooking the lake. So I'll keep you posted on, obviously there are a couple of towns that are in consideration, but I get the sense that they're, given the fact that the Still River Greenway is #2 in the state, I get the sense that they would like to do something in Brookfield. Okay, so moving on. This is actually, I've separated it in the agenda, but this is actually a report that the people from Yukon give at this council every month. So what they're working on is the full report for the 2020 usage numbers for all of the trails. They feel that that will be out soon. They're working on it very diligently, and hopefully we'll have it by the end of March. And additionally, the Connecticut Trail Finder website, which is going to list all of the trails and greenways in Connecticut, they're trying to get finished by the time that the Greenways Awards ceremony would be held, so that they could make that announcement at the ceremony. They said that they're working on it now, and they don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to finish it by early June. So that would also be, a nice addition to the state for having that website. Would be not just greenways, but also, just walking trails. So that would be great if they can get that finished. Mary, I'm not sure if there are any update on either of the next two items, but I thought I would leave that to you. If there was any update, I'd put them on the agenda.
Certainly, I can speak to both of those. So for the update on the plans to renovate the gazebo on the Greenway, we have continued to work with Connor Carlson, who had intended to use it for his Eagle Scout project. He still intends to complete the project, but it's not going to be for his Eagle Scout ranking any longer. I was speaking to him last week, and he is just waiting for some engineered plans in order to proceed, but that's still a work in progress and very much looking like it's going to happen sometime in the next few months. And then for the update on the connector from the Greenway to the parking lot at Town Hall, or the Town Hall extension as it was being known casually, the town had to make a decision. We were going to give back the funding that we had received for that project and reapply for full funding. We found that the cost of the project exceeded what we were given for the grant originally. And I do believe that we were notified sometime last month that we were not selected for the grant. So as of right now, I know that it's not in my capital budget presentation for consideration, and I don't think it's in anybody else's either. So I think right now that is just kind of being set aside to get back to another time when grant funding is available again.
But we don't lose the initial grant, correct?
Well, we did. The town had to make a decision if the town wanted to get.
That's the grant you were referring to.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So that, I think it was like $207,000. Don't quote me on the amount, but the original grant had to be returned in order for the town to apply for better funding.
Got it.
And so we kind of went all in, and we didn't make out very well in the deal, but I'm sure there'll be another grant coming along that we can apply for.
Okay, got it. So the Recreation Enhancement Council funding. So I think we're now at a point where we should at least start to implement the plans that we've been talking about for months. So Bo, since you're working from home, is it possible for you to get out to go to the bank with me sometime during the day?
Yep, no problem.
Okay, because what I'm going to do is, since you and get the three of us together to go to the bank lobby and actually fill out all of the paperwork at one time, because it's fairly lengthy, and I'm sure that Sarah can do it as well. So I'll email you and Sarah separately. We'll pick a date. I'll make an appointment, and we'll go to the bank and get that done. Once we've got that done, then I'll open the PayPal account and link the bank account to it. I picked up the forms for the PO box, so I will be doing that this week. Working on this magazine, I actually joined 2 local business networking sites that have actually been quite helpful to me. And I'm thinking that we could join that and start, if not, it's very possible we could do some fundraising through it, but also just for visibility, to get the word out and let people know that we're number 2 in the state and that we're looking to expand to New Milford. I think it would be very beneficial. And then lastly, once we've got all of that stuff done, then for our next meeting, I will write a proposed email that you can all review. So relatively short tonight. Any thoughts or any other issues or comments you want to make? Any of you want to make?
Hey, Jay, quick question. A
Yeah.
little while ago, a few months ago, we talked about developing a scope of work for some route planning, which I never did anything to follow up on. So is there something we can put together? Because I can't remember the details, but I could definitely do a scope of work that's beneficial. We can go out to bid for, try to get some quotes for.
I'll send you, I thought I had done this, but maybe I didn't. If I did, I'll resend it. I had Greg Dembowski draft up 2 scenarios for how we would get up to either Riverview or the Newberry Village. And those are the 2 designs that he's working with the developers. And that's what I would, if we get to the point where DEEP gets funded, those are the 2 design scenarios that I'd like them to take a look at and give us a report on, both for cost and ease or difficulty of navigating it. So I'll send that to you. I don't think there's too much we need to do right now, but at least you'll have it.
Okay.
Okay. Jean, anything else?
No, not for me, thanks.
Mary?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to end within a half an hour tonight. So thank you all for your time, and I'll keep you posted, and we'll plan the next meeting for maybe the 23rd of April, hoping that the weather will get better.
April 23rd?
April 23rd.
That's a Friday,
I'm sorry. Yes, yeah, so that following Monday.
the 26th.
Yeah. Is the 26th the Monday?
Yep.
11th. Okay, so let's plan on the 26th of April. Okay?
Mhm.
All right, thanks, everybody. Enjoy the week, stay warm.
Great.
Jay, thanks for
everybody.
everything you've been
Take
doing.
care.
You too, bye.